everybody, this is Calvin Waite. I trade crypto for a living. I'm not a registered or licensed financial advisor, planner, or broker, so nothing on this channel should be taken as a recommendation to buy or sell. I also trade all of these things, so I probably have a vested interest in there. But there's plenty of entertainment value and lots of education, so this will be awesome. For those of you who didn't know, my subscription channel is live. So look at the link in the description over at cryptoinfluencers.com and you can see how I make all of my trades and what I do and what I think about everything. This channel is for more hypothetical and looking at trends, and the other one is for actual trading, so you might be interested in that. What a day! Man, that was amazing, wasn't it? Crazy. I did not expect us. Since the last time we talked, our Bitcoin price is up by $2,000. Man, that is huge. Such an awesome, awesome day. Well, congrats, Erlina. You are the winner of the $25 of Ethereum, and it's in your, well, it will be soon. I just barely sent it, so it takes a minute for the for that to confirm on the blockchain, but you have it on its way. Thanks for being a part of our channel here. This is really cool to, have some people. There's a few more people chit-chatting in the chat, so that's really cool. First of all, I just wanted to remind you that, oh, you know what? I got some unfinished business here. This is my video for the Pro channel. Let me get this sent. Every day we do a video at the close of the day, and I can't type. So we're gonna get this sent off to the pros so they know what I've decided to do on my trading today. Okay, so but anyway, go to cryptoinfluencers.com and the free channel is here, and you can open chat and put in for the $25 every day, or you can sign up for the Pro channel here if you want to learn what I'm doing. It's been a wild ride with alts dropping and everything, but account's starting to look pretty nice by now. So very, very happy about the movement that we've seen on Bitcoin. Okay, I don't even know where to begin. Like, this is such a phenomenal day. Let's start here. Let's talk about Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin is stealing the show. So, you know how I'm always saying that news is misdirection? Well, it almost always is. Unless there's something tangible, like facts in the news. When it's opinions or some expert or some banker thinking this and analysts are projecting that, it's all garbage. But when something is physically changing in the landscape, that's news with teeth in it. And when all of the world's most powerful banks are scrambling to submit a Bitcoin ETF, like, come on. That is news with teeth in it. There is a shift. If the CEO of BlackRock says, well, yeah, this and that, it's garbage. But when they have submitted an application, there is something there. And people are losing their minds over this because we've just seen the SEC pull a fast one on the entire world. They were, suing everybody, saying that they need to, that they're just going to fight everything, that the US doesn't need any crypto or whatever. And then seconds later, BlackRock shows up, and you just think, man, those slimy people. But guess what's going to happen? This spot ETF, if anyone gets this approved, they will have to hold. So here's another way to think about it. Gold launched because of an ETF, but gold is really hard to keep track of. There are plenty of gold bars that have false cores, and there are plenty of asteroids out there with lots of gold on them. And eventually, that is an unknown supply. There's just an unknown supply. People generally think it's limited, but with Bitcoin, if BlackRock is holding Bitcoin as part of their ETF, we will be able to see the wallets on the blockchain that are holding those. Unless they've really split them up in a million ways, but guaranteed that, Coinalysis or these other groups will find them. So we will know if anyone's cheating. It's perfectly transparent. It is the best type of thing. So now we've got an ETF that actually, if it gets approved, everyone can verify that nobody's lying, that nobody's dealing under the table or paper trading or anything else. Those will have to be one for one. It's easily auditable, and if they're cheating or doing something, it'll be visible to everybody. And but yeah, there are so many trillions of dollars just sitting around that could easily get into Bitcoin and take Bitcoin supply out of the market if it was available on the stock market. And if the US, SEC, and everybody else is so worried about KYC and everything, well, then have them buy over the stock market. At least it's going to impact supply. So the rest of the world's 2 million Bitcoin that are on the exchanges right now will get smaller and smaller. And if the trillions of dollars that exist start fighting over those final 2 million Bitcoin, it is going to send the price. It is going to absolutely launch. So because Bitcoin's gotten the focus, Bitcoin is the one moving the fastest. So Bitcoin is now at almost 51%. What that means is that if you take the combined value of all Bitcoin in existence, which, let's see, I guess I don't have a perfect view as to what that number is. I think it's around 710 billion. Well, no, I guess that can't be right. Yeah, well, anyway, it's probably 500 billion or something. So that means that that Bitcoin makes up more than the combined total of all other crypto in existence. That includes stable coins. That includes everything. So Bitcoin is now the monster. It is huge. And we have not seen a value this big since April 19th of 2021. So more than 2 years ago, Bitcoin dominance was this high. And we're heading upwards. But it doesn't matter to me because if Bitcoin price is going up, even if the rest of the market isn't going as fast, it will get drug along with Bitcoin. And once confidence enters the market, Bitcoin dominance will level off. And then we'll have alt seasons and Ethereum season, and it's going to be awesome. But it all starts with Bitcoin. So I'm overjoyed to see Bitcoin on the move today. And if Bitcoin dominance jumps up because of that, so be it, because it's going to move everything. Bitcoin first, then Ethereum, then all other cryptos. They'll all just join. So it is cool. This is just a monumental thing. So with that as an introduction, let's talk about this day. Today's close represents a momentum shift. We have been waiting for a leg up for a while. I thought our leg up was coming right here. We were starting to really level off. Our downside was limited. We were starting to look good. And then we got faked out and then well surprised. And then SEC shows up and starts suing everyone and scaring the crap out of everyone. But now look at that. We're higher than we were even on the best of our jumps. So I am very green now and poised for more upside, which is awesome. So this is the momentum shift that I'm talking about. Our close right now that we just had, this is an hour ago, I guess, hour and a half ago, was at 28,307. Our highest, most recent high was 28,065. We have a higher high in the books. So even if today's candle turns out to be red, in the books, we will show a new high from our prior high. This is the definition of a momentum shift. We are changing momentum. So we've had high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. You might call this a high, but it's questionable. And then lowest low. Now we're moving to this side and we have established a higher high. We have changed something. So now what that means is the most likely case is that whenever we pull back down, whatever pullback we get will likely be higher than this low, which was 25,128. So 25,128 has become our new I would say, are very, very unlikely place that we'll ever see again, or at least for a long time. We had perfect resistance here, flipped to perfect support here, and now we're starting our new leg. Man, it is scientific. It is perfect. It is the exact structure you want to see. So we have a momentum shift. We also exited the yellow zone. So we've closed above the 50, and we also closed above the 100. What a bonus. Because if we had just closed above the 50 and rejected off the 100, that still would have been awesome. We still could have ranged and done a lot of work here and then eventually tried to work on the 100. But I've said this a million times. When you're breaking an important level, you either stop on the level and start a new candle to break it, or you have a massive candle to just destroy everything in your path. And that's exactly what we did. Huge candle. I mean, we touched it as resistance, which made yesterday really questionable. I was seriously like, we've gone up about 7% here, about 7% here, about 7% here, about 7% here. We've done this. If we're in a channel, this is time to sell. But I was just like, I really feel like this is the bottom. Even if we pull back, I think we'll put in a higher low than this. I'm willing to risk it. So I left my longs, no hedging, and just got rewarded today, man. It was so cool. So anyway, we are changing things. We have exited the yellow zone. Green zone, yellow zone, now we're to white. White is good. We want white. White means that we are breaking above the 50, and hopefully we can get our averages in a line and start on a new green zone. So this day is phenomenal. It's already really, really awesome. It is just like, it's hard to explain, what that means. If the trillions of dollars that are sitting there in retirement accounts, companies that would love exposure to Bitcoin but don't know how to deal with wallets and security and all those questionable things, and if they can just open up their normal trading account and just buy a ticker, there is so much money that's going to flow into Bitcoin. So much money. And so this push today is the market realizing this and digesting what the implications of this could be. Well, a minute ago, I was researching. Normally, an ETF takes 6 to 9 months or something for approval, but BlackRock requested it as expedited, and BlackRock gets their way. I'm seeing news that says that this thing could potentially be approved within 45 days, and even potentially less than a month. If that gets approved, Bitcoin price is going to launch, and the 4-year cycle will be impacted. So let's think together about what happens during the 4-year cycle if some kind of catalyst like that hits our market. So first of all, the reason we went up thousands of percent from the first halving, this first halving was a big deal because the only people that had a ton of selling pressure were miners. And miners have an incentive to have as many computers running at the same time. And so they were selling as much Bitcoin as they could get their hands on to get more miners and more miners and more miners. So all that selling pressure came from the selling of Bitcoin that came directly from miners. And they were getting 50 per 10 minutes. And that was getting dumped on the market so that they could create a larger market share and mine more and mine more. And the first halving, it was ripping half of those 50 per 10 minutes away from their hands. And they literally could not sell as much as they wanted to. And they slowed it down, and they were only able to sell 25 per 10 minutes. And that shift caused the run up because we had demand, and the supply just completely disappeared from what was being experienced in the market. The next time around, we went from 25 to 12, which is a decent jump. Suddenly 12.5 Bitcoin per 10 minutes is no longer available to be sold. And that's what made us launch up this high. Well, going from 12 to 6.5 is starting to get a little bit less impactful, I would say, because now you're taking away the ability for someone to sell 6,000 or 6 Bitcoin per 10 minutes. It's a big number. I mean, it's, if you've got a $10,000 Bitcoin, which is what it was at the time, that's 60,000 per 10 minutes that they can't sell. But, I don't know. Now that the market cap is as big as it is, that's becoming less impactful, right? So by the next halving, we're going from 6 to 3. That means miners have 3 less Bitcoin that they can sell every 10 minutes. And the whole landscape has changed. Miners are now, they're publicly traded. They're raising funds by borrowing debt. They're selling shares. They're doing everything they can to not sell their Bitcoin. And so at the halving, it's not going to create this supply shock that we all think will happen. And so that's why people start thinking of Bitcoin as more of a super cycle, because it was the miners that drove these gigantic rushes north, but miners are not selling anymore. So everyone's anticipation of the halving going up is based on historical experience, but it may not necessarily be economic reality. So I've been thinking and planning for the next halving, thinking, what did we do? We did get off our bottom and we went kind of sideways for 6 months, and then we jumped up at the halving and then, faked out. So it was kind of a sell the news event for a couple of months. And then we just couldn't help ourselves. We just went up. And then same thing here. We were all over the map because we had COVID crash and everything else. When we finally had the halving, things didn't really move. Like, it didn't really jump right away. And this kind of tells you that, does it take a few months for the supply shock to hit miners or sellers? I'm not sure. But we kind of had a jump and a fake out, and then we went. But it just makes me wonder if so many people are expecting the halving to be the start of the bull run. What happens if BlackRock approves an ETF and in July or August, suddenly trillions of dollars starts entering the market? It will launch Bitcoin so high before the halving. And I just don't know if maybe this will be our bull run. It's really a reality that could potentially happen now that we have something tangible that could drive this next move. I think a lot of people might be waiting for the halving, thinking that that's when it begins. I'm speculating that the herd is wrong. There's not a lot of economic reason why the halving would make a big impact beyond tradition. And so if we get a major push because of ETF and all of this stuff, it might top early. It might. So anyway, we have to be ready for everything. I'm really going to be very curious. I'll be watching it like crazy, but there will be times when we, especially on the Pro channel, or at least my personal trading, I'm going to be looking for potential profit-taking spots. Maybe not everything, because you never know, but I'm going to be a little careful moving into the top of this thing because, it's going to be, markets are always trying to surprise you. They just always try to surprise you. And if you can plan for it and think through what potentially can happen, you just have such a huge advantage. So, but anyway, it is absolutely the BlackRock news and the other ETFs that are being requested by Fidelity and others that moved our market so far. The reality of that will move it even more, and actual companies buying will move it even more. And then after the ETF has been out for a month or something, most people that were dying to get in will be in, and we'll be looking for tops. So if that all coincides with the halving, we might have a major drop at halving. So we just need to be emotionally ready for anything that happens. And I'm not saying to do anything crazy and just fully limit your upside, but it's not going to kill anyone to have money in their pocket if we have a decent run and we've made some good profits. But it should be interesting. I am loving this, though. We are absolutely at a shift. We have momentum shifted to the upside. We are finally going to see what this next leg up looks like, and we'll see where it ends up. But historically, let's just measure what we've done. When we started our new leg up, we went up for 50 days. And then when we were ready to go again, we went up for 34 days. So is there a trend there? Do we go up for 20 days? Or do we average and go up 45 days? I'm not sure, but it's going to be a fun month and a half. Let's just say that. So we've got a month and a half. It'll still be up and down, but I think the trend will be up, and we'll find out where we go from here. On the weekly, this candle has to be ignored because we still have 5 days to go on it. It's only a 2-day-old week, which means, this could do anything. But if this candle holds, it is going to be a monster. It is going to be a pretty sweet week. At the very least, we will know it is most likely that our falling wedge has broken out. By the time this week ends, we only need to be above like 26.5. And we're at 28.7, which means there's a little padding there. Hopefully this means we are breaking out of this and we are about to start on our leg upwards. Just keep in mind that sometimes the bulk of the move happens at the beginning. So it should be a good push, but a lot of the euphoria and the wildness will start early, and it's done on purpose. One last little nugget, and then I'll let y'all go. You have to think about the emotions of this market. Yesterday, I was on the fence of whether to go short or long here, and there were a lot of people after our weekly close that closed under the 200-week moving average that are watching Bitcoin as resistance. There were probably a lot of professionals and a lot of people that went short or closed longs, or there's probably a lot of people that were completely sidelined because of today's move. It went up $1,463 on Binance, and it moved so much, so fast, that if anyone was short, either they were liquidated or they're sweating. And emotionally, the bears are in a place where they realize that they are on the wrong side of this thing. And so how do you go from short to long? You have to buy twice. You have to close your short and you have to buy long. So the shorts are going to give us double buying pressure somewhere in here. If they're trigger happy, they're going to go fast. But whales move these things as fast as they can because they want to create a situation where people don't have the ability to get in or out in a rational way. They have to do it emotionally if they're going to do it. And by the time they've pushed it up as fast and as hard as they can, then people are looking to buy, and it creates exit liquidity for these whales. So this move is crazy emotional. It's going to be really emotional for the bears and for anyone who's short. And so there's plenty of buying pressure that can still flow into this market just because of how ruthless they brought this thing up. Because it was on a tipping point and they sent it. They just launched this. So now you've got a lot of people scratching their heads like, holy crap, we're going to get liquidated, or do I wait for a pullback? What am I going to do? And that just means that whatever pullbacks we get may be short-lived, at least initially, because there's probably some surprised bears or people with money on the sidelines that are like, now what do I do? How do I buy this? Like, it was down at 24, 25, 26, and now am I going to buy at 29,000? I don't know if I can. And they're just going to wait as long as they're the FOMO, as long as they can resist FOMO. So this move is not a little fake out temporary move. It is a solid punch in the face, and it's probably got legs, which means we're probably going to see a breakout on the weekly, which that alone will cause a lot of institutions that have been waiting patiently. They're more patient traders. They're slowly going to be getting in over the next few days to weeks. So it's looking good, guys. It's looking really good for the longs. So I hope everyone enjoys it. There's a lot to think about. There's a lot of strategy that we want to make sure we get right. Bitcoin's moving first. Ethereum will move next, but it obviously is not out of the yellow zone. We did not break the 50. There's more resistance here. But if Bitcoin gets us started, there's plenty of reasons why Ethereum can follow. We just need Ethereum to close above 9. We need to close in the 19s. If it closes in the 19s, then it also has a tangible reversal on its books, and we'll see some probably independent upward movement there. And if Ethereum goes, the rest of the market will go. So our delayed alt season will eventually come around. So I'm waiting patiently with all of my red alts right now, but I'm judiciously, carefully modifying and making adjustments, and pretty soon we'll make some money. So that'll be fun. All right, you guys, have an awesome night. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting me, and congratulations to the winners of the $25 I give away every day. It's nice to see people registered on Crypto Influencers, and we'll keep growing things as we go. All right, see you guys. Have a good night. Thanks for making it to the end of my video. Make sure you keep those trades small. Don't force a trade. Don't get impatient. And if you want to see how all this works, please come over and check me out on the subscription channel at cryptoinfluencers.com. Again, the link is in the description.